There aren't many books that I recommend unreservedly to professionals and business people. I set the bar very high for book recommendations. But there's one book that I often recommend, and it's a book that answers the question, who gets the best answers? The book is called The Wisdom of Crowds, and this is what I want to talk to you about in this video. One way that I measure the quality of book is the number of notes I make in the margins, the number of lists I write at the end of chapters, and the number of post-it notes I attach to the pages. This is a good book. It has a lot of notes in it, and it has a lot of post-its attached to its pages. So, from that book, we can answer the question, who gets the best answers? So who does get the best answer? Well, it isn't anyone. It's certainly not the expert. And neither is it 2 or 3 of them. It's all of them. In fact, the best answer comes from everyone. But we can't all be right, you're probably saying. And I'm not saying that we are all right. On any project, you'll have lots of opinions, and hopefully lots of diverse opinions pointing in different directions. What I'm saying, and what James Surowiecki, the author of The Wisdom of Crowds, is saying, is that everyone can be right when everyone works together. Getting the best answer is about accessing the collective wisdom of your whole team. The book, The Wisdom of Crowds, by James Surowiecki, examines why the many are smarter than the few, but more valuable than that. He examines when it's true and the conditions that we need to put in place to make that work. And as project managers with hopefully diverse teams, this is important because we want a smart team, and therefore we want to create the conditions for the team to get the best answers. In fact, groups aren't always smart. They're sometimes pretty dumb. There are 3 conditions that Surowiecki has identified, however, that enable us to get the best from a group of people working together to solve a problem, to find an answer, or to make a decision. The first condition is independence. Each group member must think independently and form their own conclusions. 2 quotations from the book really stand out for me. The best way for a group to be smart is for each person to act as independently as possible. And the second quote is this: one of the consistent findings from decades of small group research is that group deliberations are more successful when they have a clear agenda and when group leaders take an active role in making sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. The second condition is diversity. Different perspectives are important, and therefore the greater the range of ideas, of perspectives, of background, experience, specialisms that you can gather together, then the better the answer you will get. Again, I can't say it better than Surowiecki. So let's look at some quotes from the book. Adding a few people who know less but have different skills actually improves the group's performance. What this means is that if you've got a group of experts and you take one of those experts and you throw them out of the group and you introduce somebody with a completely different range of skills, then by doing that, you can improve the answer the group finds. And I think the reason is because that intelligent person will ask questions of the experts to challenge their implicit assumptions. The simple fact, he says, of making a group diverse makes it better at problem solving. He goes on to say that diversity contributes not just by adding different perspectives to the group, but also by making it easier for individuals to say what they really think. The conclusion that he draws from all of this is simple and powerful. Diversity of opinion is the single best guarantee that the group will reap benefits from face-to-face discussions. The presence of a minority viewpoint all by itself makes a group's decisions more nuanced and its decision-making process more rigorous. If there were ever a compelling case for diversity that goes beyond the moral case, it's this: diverse groups get better answers. The final condition is decentralization. No one person should have privileged control over the data that the group examines. All data should be collated and all should be available to all members of the group. As soon as one person selects what data to focus on or creates an interpretation by putting PowerPoint slides together, then group bias is all but inevitable. The more information is available, then the better the judgment of the group. And the more available a piece of information becomes to the wider group, the more valuable it becomes. Of course, not all problems are ideally suited to groups, but Surovicki identifies 3 classes of problems that are particularly well suited to a group or a team effort in resolving the problem, in finding the answer, and in making the decision. The first of these he called cognitive problems, problems where there is a definitive solution, a best answer to the problem. Secondly, there are coordination problems, problems about things that people will need to work together upon. And thirdly, there are collaboration problems, questions and problems and challenges where the solution will benefit the whole group. To sum up, The Wisdom of Crowds is a brilliant book. It is well written and it is easy to read. Surovicki is a journalist. He knows how to write for easy reading, but it doesn't talk down to the reader. It presents a large amount of scientific research in an easy to access format. For experienced project managers and business people in general, then there will be a lot to move your thinking forward. And if you're at the start of your career, then there's a good chance that The Wisdom of Crowds will have a profound impact on your thinking for the whole of your career. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up, and I'll be producing loads more great project management content. So please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.